Gee.
Myself, Ozzy B, yeah? Get to know. Oi, this is Pep Talk. Oi, this is Pep Talk. Oi, this is Pep Talk. If you don't check it out, then you better walk like, this is Pep Talk. This is Pep Talk. Oi, jeez.
Crazy.
Pep
Talk UK.
It's time! Everyone talk good game, but it don't really faze me. The man that ain't mad like Max, the boy that not murky like Ace B. And them guy walk the slide on the back, balling like a baby.
Oi, oi. Welcome to the Pep Talk UK Sports Podcast. The podcast that talks the major boxing and football news from around the globe. Real points of view from a real panel. Hashtag real talk on Pep Talk. Please subscribe to Pep Talk UK on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share and comment. Now I'm your host, Frankie B, and I'm joined by a sick panel. Firstly, I'd like to welcome once again the Frenchman with more vavavoom than Thierry Henry. It's Pascal. How you doing, bro?
Oui, c'est Pascal. I'm very well, Frankie B. And you, how are you?
I'm doing well, mate. Bonjour to you. And good news today. Big Sam back in the hot seat. The troubleshooter is going to help Everton.
Big Sam Alardici. Look, Frankie B, one thing for sure is that Big Sam has got extensive Premiership experience, and we can expect Everton to stay up. But did you see his salary package? It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
He's getting paid more than Zidane.
Well, do you know what? To be fair, with the amount of money that's that you can make staying in the Premiership, it's only right that if he keeps him in, he's got the right bonus package, that rewards him.
My concern is that Wenger might just decide to have a pay rise, because he was, before Sam Allardyce was appointed, Wenger was the highest paid Premiership manager, and he looks like Everton has broken a record with Sam Allardyce. So it means that we can have Wenger for a couple more years, mate, as they say.
For me, Wenger's like Rick Ross, man. He's his own boss, like Rick Ross. Yeah.
But I play for Everton, I don't want them to go down. They're a good club, and it would be good for them to stay in the Premiership. And I think that in the grand scheme of things, Sam Allardyce is not a bad shout. Better than David Moyes.
Yeah. And we need to keep Tony Bellew happy, his fight just got cancelled with David Hayes, so.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
Right, Pascal, want to keep it moving? You want to shout out your social media?
Yes, my social media is Pascal_de_Sade. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Badman for Paris.
Pascal, what up? Right, now I'd like to reintroduce a man that has his own YouTube channel, Truth and Facts About Boxing. It's the ever knowledgeable, big homie, Bo. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm always happy to be here talking with my boys from the UK, man.
Yeah, you're out there on the east side.
Yeah, Midwest, man. It is cold out here. It's cold.
Yeah. So what's been happening? Still pushing out some good content out on YouTube.
Yeah, I had an interview. with Chantel Cameron after she won her title.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, we talked about that. I interviewed Miles Bailey, who is boxing aficionado manager and business partner with Evander Holyfield. Started working with Three Kings Boxing news website, and I've been writing articles. So it's been a lot going on, man.
Sounds like you've been putting in that work.
Yeah, man. I was at the doctor's office at a doctor's visit, and I told the doctor, I said, hold on, give me a second before you start sticking the needle in there. I got to finish this article. And I just had like one line left, and it took like 5 minutes to finish one line. So I don't know if that's because I didn't want that needle shot, or I just couldn't think of what to say.
Hey, as long as it's not that Lewis Ortiz needle,
Oh man, you know he don't take needles. You know he pop blood pressure pills.
That's right. Keep everything under control, mate. You know, for health reasons.
Right. That's right.
So what about talk of Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua out there? Is it sort of simmered down?
No, It's actually it's getting higher than ever. It's simmered down from the aspect of I think people are starting to understand the business side of it more. That it'll happen. It'll just have to happen when these promoters can get together and come up with something. But it's still a hot topic out here. Like it's still a topic that if you mention it, it'll get 200-300 comments.
And it's crazy because out here, a lot of people are seeing Anthony Joshua start switching from this really, really nice guy to a guy that's like had enough of all these people calling him out and saying this and that. It's like he's turning into a heel. You remember like Hulk Hogan when he turned into Hollywood Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. I think people are just have to realize that this is something he's not used to. You see what I'm saying? Like you're the man now, and you got a target on your back.
That's true. Like Jay-Z said, they throw rocks at the throne. Same thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So he's got to get used to it and understand it's just part of the game. Yeah.
Real talk, brother. Now, Bo, you want to shout out your social media?
Yeah, of course, you can follow me at Truth and Facts About Boxing on YouTube. You can also catch me on Twitter at capital T for Truth, _ capital F for Fact Box 1. Also on Instagram, Truth _ Fact Box 1. And you can also catch me with the Movement family that consists of 3 kings. The Movement, which is Prodigy of Boxing, C-Bone Henderson, Willie the Kid. Right here, of course, with my boys, my dogs, my brothers at Pep Talk UK, and anywhere else where they talking boxing, Eastwick and everywhere else, man. If you want to find me, that's where you catch me.
My G. Right. Finally, I'd like to introduce a super lightweight southpaw slickster, Phillip Quicksilver Bowes. How you doing, my G?
I'm all good, my brother. What you saying?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. We thought we'd get you on the show. It's been more than a minute. Keeping well?
Yeah, definitely. I'm all good, man. I can't complain. When I'm alive, you know what I mean? It's all good, Yeah.
And obviously, a man like you is always in the gym, staying fight ready. Anytime that call, gets put in.
Yeah, I'll be ready. I'll be ready to take shots anytime,
Speaking of fights, we saw, last time out in October, you got the W. But before that, you just narrowly, marginally lost a close fight with Glenn Foot for the English title on the scorecards. But there's been a lot of debate about scoring in boxing recently, and once again, it's very subjective. It depends what you like, isn't it?
You know what? It's crazy, regarding my fight with Glenn Foot, because what do you want to watch? Do you want to watch a pure boxer, or do you want to watch an MMA fighter? I mean, you can't use elbows ahead and, get, be ahead on the scorecards, I mean, anyone that was there would tell you what happened, I'm a slick southpaw, I like to use movement and skills and speed, and he's using his head and his elbows, But, I said, you can't beat what you can't, you can't see. But that night, that's exactly what happened. He was beating what he couldn't see via the judges. So, it's one of them things. And also, what do you want to see? A slickster versus a slugger? Who are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the slickster, Hagler, or Sugar Ray Leonard kind of thing,
Do you think it's a cultural thing? Because, in Great Britain, we very much like the guys that come forward, show a lot of heart, high work rate, head down, bang, bang, bang. Or is it, in abroad, like in the States, they're very much like the Mayweather style?
If I was American, I'd be world champion. So, it's definitely a cultural thing. Over here, we just like, pub fighting, that's what I call it. I call it pub man fighting, You have a drink, you go forward and you just throw. You just start throwing. Rather than looking at the real rules of, combination punching, you know, movement, you know, pivoting and stuff like that. You can't just be throwing hands and expect, you know, to be up on scorecards if you're not hitting anything. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how it all works out, you know. It's all crazy how it works out.
Did you know, I want to use that one day, you know, Stella Artois, you know, boxing, mate. I'll use that, you know. Last time out, you just kind of missed out. Are you looking to get another crack at the English title? Working your way towards that?
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, I had a bit of politics happening with the board recently regarding, you know, I was meant to fight a guy called Raheem Noble before he went to...
Raheem Noble, Japan, Yeah,
we went to Japan, but obviously I took the fight, you know, thinking my team was going to still be in the country, but most of them had an annual holiday booked. I took the fight not knowing, and then obviously I had to cancel it at the last minute because my main trainers are not in the country, so I had to cancel it. And then this country is crazy. Like, once you cancel a fight, they don't want to put you forward for no title fights for like 4 or 5 months, you know. So I've been like this kind of in the gym, staying ready, ticking over, waiting for that period to kind of subside. And so in the new year, I'm looking to go forward and go for the titles, man.
2018, we'll be right behind you.
Yeah, man, definitely. I need to get one of them sweaters you got now, man.
You already know. As Bo would say, y'all already know, y'all.
Yeah, man.
So look, a lot of the listeners don't know, you're actually related to a musician.
Yeah, man, you know, Ozzy B from, you know, formerly the More Fire crew is my dad's son, you know, he's my brother. So yeah, man, you know, the family's in the entertainment business, you know.
So what about yourself? I mean, you're going to do a freestyle right now for us?
Nah, man, that's not my opportunity, man. I don't do that, man.
Just kidding. Right. Do you want to shout out your social media, Phil?
Yeah, man. I'm on Twitter as at Phillip Bowes, Instagram as Quicksilver Bowes, and Facebook as Phillip Bowes. Yeah, my normal name. So yeah, that's it, man. Hi ho,
Quicksilver, my G. Right, want to get into the boxing? Ladies and gents, for the fight fans locked in, for the football fans locked in, now it's time for some real talk on Pep Talk. Let's go! Yes, we ready. Let's get into it. It's real talk. It's Pep Talk. So we're going to start with the boxing. One man in action last weekend. Back on the winning trail was Sergey Kovalev, who gained the WBO light heavyweight world title, stopping Vasylav Sharansky in the second round at Madison Square Garden. Now Pascal, Kovalev has his old belt back. It's strap season again for the Crusher. The person we call the boxing version of Zangief. He looks like he's ready to unify once more.
It looks like it, certainly, you know, as Mick Mill said before, there are levels to this. And Kovalev was certainly way ahead of Vasylav Sharansky. I mean, it was obvious from the first opening round that, you know, Vasylav was going to have a very, very long or short night. You know, and Kovalev was using his face as a pillowcase, and literally, you know, and was just literally tucking himself in, you know. I mean, look, in the grand scheme of things, you know, Sharansky himself, you know, was ranked, you know, top 10. His boxing record isn't too bad, you know, 19 wins, you know, 16 KOs, 2 losses, you know, so in the grand scheme of things, you know, 21 bouts, he has a good record, you know, it's not a bad record, certainly not, but to fight, you know, an experienced fighter like Kovalev, who's had 31, you know, wins, and the losses were been to arguably one of the most, you know, one of the greatest fighters, you know, of our generation, you know, it's understandable that, you know, Sharansky was going to lose against Kovalev, you know, he was nowhere near those two levels, so, you know, from Kovalev's point of view, he can certainly look to unite the division, because Andre Ward, the boogeyman of the division, is gone. But, you know, I don't think it'll be that easy. I think that there's a lot of prospect in that division. You know, it's quite a stacked division, Frankie B. You know, you've got Barrera, you've got Bivol, you've got Alexander Godsvik, I believe I'm saying it properly. You know, Alvarez, the Joe Smith Jr. So there's a few fighters in there. Baddy Jack, of course, of the money team. Yeah. And obviously Adonis Stevenson at 40 years old, who's still pretty much a threat. Yeah. Personally, you know, I think that playtime should be over and there should be a mega fight between the two. You know, we want to see Adonis in a mega fight. He's not done that, you know, he's been a lineal champion for a long time. But, you know, we've yet to see him taking any risk, and I'm not sure whether, you know, his age is a factor, but that fight against Kovalev should certainly be made in 2018.
I mean, Pascal, what is Adonis Stevenson waiting for? Is he waiting to have more grandchildren or what? I mean,
he's 40 years old. He's not getting any younger, you know. And you know they say black doesn't crack, but you know, whilst he looks good for his age, you know, in boxing terms, you know, boxing is a very demanding sport, and I don't expect Adonis to put his body through grueling training camps. But you know, the position that he's had, I don't believe has pushed him to the limit of his talent. So we don't really know how good Stevenson is. And himself, I believe that he has doubts over his ability. Otherwise, he would have taken those big fights against the Kovalevs and Andre Wards at a much earlier time during his career. So I think that what Adonis probably wants to do is take a few more easy fights, win some easy paydays, and he may well vacate the belt. You know, I don't see him taking any more chances.
Kovalev calls him the chicken. He says he wants to fight everyone, including the chicken.
Well, you know, we've had, you know, when Kovalev beat Jean Pascal not too long ago, you know, Adonis went into the ring and claimed that he was the champ. No one believed him, including himself. I don't believe that he believed that he could beat Kovalev. I think that, you know, I don't believe that Adonis Stevenson is the champion that he thinks he is, you know, and it is quite disappointing because everybody in boxing is trying to make those big fights, those mega fights, and there will be, you know, I believe it could be a pay-per-view event, even though Stevenson is not active. You know, he certainly would, for those of us who know the division, who wanted to see this fight, you know, HBO could well make it a pay-per-view event because Kovalev will be the draw, and a fight in Canada will bring in the Canadian fans to watch Stevenson against Kovalev, you know, where Kovalev has been there before.
Adonis Stevenson has been coaching for too long.
I think that, you know, you have to dare to be great, and I'm not sure that, I think Stevenson is quite comfortable, you know, shining the green belt, you know, but you see, my concern is that the WBC is a coveted belt in boxing, you know. It's a belt that I grew up admiring as a child, and I just find it very disappointing that, you know, very few boxers, you know, not to throw any shade to Deontay Wilder, but a lot of fighters who will hold that belt, you know, are not risking it, you know, to acquire other belts. It's as though the WBC belt has been acquired and they'll do whatever they can to keep it. And it's a lovely color, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to go out there. You have to prove yourself, and you know, to be an undisputed champion in the division, I mean, it's a remarkable achievement. And I just don't understand why some boxers anyway, are comfortable with just one championship. When you know there's another man out there that is, you know, insulting your pride, insulting you as a boxer. Surely, as a man, the least you can do is forget about the belts and, you know, put your pride on the line and let's fight it out. And Adonis Stevenson is not showing to me that, you know, the Haitian people are very proud people. You know, and they've always been quite revolutionary, and Stevenson, to me, is not showing the true spirit of Haiti, you know. A lot of French people will be disappointed in that, French Haitian. So I want Stevenson to make a stand next year in 2018 and to announce the fight against Kovalev. But before that, let's see if he gets past Badou Jack, if that fight gets announced.
That's right, January. It's proposed for January. Now, Bo, Sharansky, first of all, we'll question how he got the title shot in the first place, and secondly, his tactics. He seemed to have got his tactics all wrong. He went in there thinking that he could actually trade with Kovalev. Do you think that's a bit of confidence due to the fact that Kovalev's lost 2 fights previously?
No, that's just how Sharansky fights. Go back and watch when he fought Sullivan Barrera. He stayed on the center line. He was open for the right hand, which Barrera landed even in that fight. He has limited head movement. So it was no shock to me that, you know, Kovalev beating Because again, Kovalev is in my honest opinion, I think he has a better right hand than Sullivan-Reda, and one can even argue he's a better overall probably boxer than Sullivan-Reda. I mean, Kovalev's 1-2 is amazing because too, you know. So Sharansky was tailor made for him, and he's ranked number 10 by the WBO. Now on a world scale, he might be like 17 or something like that. But by the WBO, he's ranked number 10. But that fight should have been for a title. Normally, when you have a vacant belt, your number 1 is supposed to fight your number 2. Look, of course, against Anthony Joshua, but him and Klitschko shouldn't have been fighting for that WBA title. It should have been naked title, number 1 versus number 2. But we don't understand why. Who would the WBO rather have their belt on? Right? You know,
it's crazy.
Yeah, because of, you know, the money factor. So it should have been Kovalev.
He just took an L as well. He just took the L not long ago.
Right, that's right. He comes out of he got knocked out. So he comes back from a knockout in a title fight?
I was reading an article on what he was saying. He says he doesn't count the 2 defeats against Andre Ward. He said the first one he thought he won, on a points victory, and the second one he said was an illegal victory.
Well, there's perception and then there's reality. Perception, he didn't win. Reality, he had 2 L's. All right. Reality is a lot different because it's funny because I did a video about it where Kovalev actually admitted that he wasn't training properly for the Ward fight, that Ward taught him how to train properly as a fighter. Now how well that went, we don't know. Like, Sharansky was a safe fight in the aspect of he didn't test Kovalev mentally like Andre Ward did. We don't know from a mental aspect, is he really back? Because what happens when someone's going back to their body or hit him low again? Like, what happened? And that thing with Sharansky that got me was the blueprint is there. He didn't even try to go to Kovalev.
Yeah.
Planning. That was poor planning on not just his part, even his team's part.
Do you know the funny thing is, it's a bit like, Amir Khan when he took his first knockout. Was it against British Prescott? Is it Prescott? All those years back, that knockout. And then people saw that he's actually got a vulnerable chin, and it happened a lot more times afterwards. It looked like people now would just take the opportunity just to march him down and look for that knockout because he's got suspect chin.
That's true. That's very, very true. But it seems to be a trend though, guys, with cats that lose fights and get title fights. Like Mariaga lost a title fight against I think it was Oscar Valdez, and then he gets another title shot against Lomachenko. Then same thing with David Lemieux. He lost a title shot, then got rematched for a title shot. Jesse Vargas lost to Bradley and then fought Saddam Ali for a title. So that seems to be a trend. I mean, even Adrien Broner. So it seems to kind of be a trend that's going on. But I mean, these things. That's why I wish we could go back to the old days where it was one belt, one champion.
Adrien Broner. We'll talk about that later.
Oh God, no, please.
All right. Phil, in terms of Kovalev himself, I mean, since the 2 L's he took, do you feel this era of invincibility has somewhat disappeared?
Yeah,
people not afraid to fight him anymore?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Any fighter, man, once you lose your L, you lose the era of vulnerability. Superiority. I mean, superiority even, because that's why no matter what you say about Mayweather and Ward, like no matter what, even though there's debatable losses that they've had, but no one could ever say that they're not invincible, because on the history books it says that they haven't lost. So that's what I believe.
With Kovalev, he had this reputation before, as this hard man, strong puncher that was really more like invincible, basically. That's it. He had that type of reputation, and Andre Ward, he did expose it. So I feel
to me, the first fight was debatable, like regarding.
It was debatable, it was.
SOG, because I mean, for me, I'm an SOG fan, but I could really say that he lost the fight. Do you know what I mean? I could say that, but to be honest with you, but the second fight, for a man that was meant to be invincible and meant to be like this Russian Drago, for him to go down like how he went down, that doesn't really prove that he was that invincible guy that we've all been talking about all these years, you know.
And how would Kovalev? Do you think he'll unify the division now that Andre Ward's not around? Possible fight with Badu Jack, Adonis Stevenson, Bivol, Barrera. You think he can come out on top? You think he's the best of the bunch?
You know what? It's crazy. You're gonna laugh. I don't really watch much up-to-date boxing anymore. I just watch the old school greats. But I believe that, you know, it's between him and Badu Jack, because as you know, our American friend was saying earlier, Stevenson, he doesn't really want to fight. He just wants to just get that money, get a big mansion in Haiti and America, and just chill.
Indeed. Alright, well, let's move on. Now, Bo, I made mention to the fact of Adrien Broner. Warrant for his arrest, mate, after that incident a few months ago.
You know, it's sad because it's no longer about Adrien Broner the boxer anymore. He's Adrien Broner the entertainer, or Adrien Broner the social media.
A bit like Cedric the entertainer, a bit like that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's even worse. You know, Adrien Broner he's starting to turn into an attention whore. That's what he's starting to turn into. Anything for attention. And like, how can you be in the position you're in? You have a company you run. Suppose, you know, he has a promotion company. Okay, you have kids, and you're out here getting arrested.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is though, bro, like, before that incident, he said he was a changed man, you know?
Yeah. Go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish. I know where you're going. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know, he's one of them guys, he just will never focus and just behave himself. I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, I think Mayweather tried. A few people have tried to put him on a straight and narrow, but he just seems like one of those guys that you can't control him, you know?
Yeah, Adrien Broner has same thing with Kovalev. He has a bunch of enablers, meaning that there's no one there to tell him, excuse my French, you're fucking up. Stop. And that's what he needs. There's no one there to tell him that or to really enforce him on that. Instead, they're enabling him like, yeah, Adrien, you right, man. They shouldn't treat you like this. Yeah, Adrien, you right, man. They should give you a break. No. Tell that dude you got your rabbit ass mind.
Pascal, do you think we'll ever see Adrien Broner return to the world title scene?
I believe that everything comes back to that famous loss against Carlos Medina.
Yeah, psychologically.
You know,
we talked about invincibility, right?
I think Marcos Medina is the reason why that Broner is turning into this man that's lost himself in. You know, that fight was probably one of the best fights of that year, and a lot was lost in that fight. And the fact that Adrien Broner, you know, lost his zero. Of course, he also
lost his mojo.
Was very badly damaged during that fight. Before the Brave fight, you know, I was actually, you know, I became more of a fan of Adrien Broner because despite the fact that he got knocked down several times, he fought to the very end and he showed a lot of heart. But unfortunately, he's not yet matured, and he's certainly an individual that seems to be very broken. You know, I don't believe that he's as confident as he portrays himself to be. He's quite a vulnerable man, you know, and, you know, for a kid like him that's done very well, you know, that comes out from a very difficult, you know, part of the United States to become a multi-millionaire, but yet still not find happiness and still find some comfort within himself, you know, shows that, you know, the money and the glamour and the fame that he's acquired is still not sufficient, you know. And I'm just concerned for him because he's a talent, you know. He's an entertaining boxer, entertaining character. He could have achieved so much more in the sport of boxing, but those antics outside the ring are going to cost him quite heavily. I mean, you know, even from a business point of view, you know, boxing is about business, it's about making smart decisions. And as a promoter, as an investor, would you want to work with Adrien Broner? Would you want to invest, you know, thousands of dollars or millions of dollars in a character that is unpredictable, in a character that can potentially, you know, end up in prison or do things that could jeopardize your brand and jeopardize your investment? So, unfortunately for Adrien Broner, he's alienating himself from a lot of opportunities, and I know he has a lot of baby mothers, so he needs to be careful. You know, he needs to feed those kids, you know.
You know what? You know, maybe he'll have more time to work on a mixtape. You know, if he quits boxing.
I'd like to see him boxing. You know, I'd like to see him concentrate on his craft. At the end of the day, boxing is how we got to know Adrien Broner. You know, and he's still very much, you know, an accomplished, you know, former, you know, 4-weight division world champion. I mean, he's a talented guy. You know, he's got a lot of talent. But I just wish that he had more focus and that he was far more dedicated and disciplined.
Yeah. And you know what? You just remember what he says. Still a full-weight champion. Anybody can get it. Now, Phil, where do you stand on it? You know, this talent that's Adrien Broner that's kind of going off the rails. What do you think the problem is? You think it's a lot deeper than boxing?
You know, I think it's just to do with his childhood. I think it's to do with the friends he's keeping. I mean, as Bo said, you know, like, the person he had around him to say that he's fucking up is Mayweather, and that's why they're always having their disputes on Instagram and problems like that, you know. But, you know, don't get me wrong, he's still going to be a future Hall of Famer. I mean, that's what we're failing to realize. He's still going to go down as a Hall of Famer because he's a 4 world champion. You know what I mean? He's done some good things regarding boxing in the sense of, you know, showmanship and charisma and coming to the ring. You know how he's coming to the ring. You know, he brought back the kind of the Roy Jones kind of, you know, era to, you know, like the rapping, you know, like the little things done.
Entertainment. He's got entertainment factor, no lie.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, to be fair to him, he's done some good things. When I first saw him, I thought, yeah, he's going to be the next guy. I didn't think he was going to be the next Mayweather because you can never be the next of someone. But I thought he was going to be definitely a future, you know, well, he was a future world champion. You know what I mean? He's going to be a future great fighter. But as we've all said, he's just gone downhill regarding, you know, his personal life and, you know, outside the ring. I mean, if he concentrated on, you know, his sex tapes and his mix tapes and all these things, what he did in the ring, will be great forever, you know.
And it could be a case that maybe he achieved too much too early, you know. That most definitely. I mean, sometimes my mom's always a believer to say that sometimes you're not meant to get things at a certain time. You get them, you're meant to get it when you're meant to get it, but he got it too early. Maybe if he waited a few more years when he was more mature, he would have been, you know, better off. Yeah, indeedy, I agree. We'll just touch on Tyson Fury, who keeps popping in and out of Instagram and social media. Literally, Pascal, minutes after the Hay and Bellew fight was called off, he challenged Tony Bellew to a fight. Tyson Fury's got impeccable timing, mate. Is this a fight potentially you can see happening? And also, is it one of, you know, as a boxing fan yourself, does it interest you?
Well, you know, we certainly want to see Tyson Fury back in the ring. You know, he's an undefeated, you know, heavyweight champion, and there are a lot of opportunities for him in the future. A lot of big fights. You know, potentially 3 fighters. You could consider him avenging the loss of his cousin Peter Fury against Parker.
Huey Fury.
Huey Fury. You know, that is certainly one fight. There's a good story behind it. You know, you beat my cousin, I'm coming to get you. You know, that sort of that gypsy family feud thing. You know, that could be one fight. Secondly, there could be an all-out British fight that would break British records against Tony Joshua for a super fight. And also, there's a fight with him on the Atlantic with Deontay Wilder. So he's got potentially 3 big fights that will set him up very, very nicely. You know, with regards to Tony Bellew, I believe that it's an opportunity. It's a good tune-up fight, you know, for Fury. Naturally, I believe that being the heavier fighter, the much more experienced heavyweight fighter at that division, I see Fury dominating that fight and winning that fight quite convincingly. And, you know, for Tyson Fury, look, all the publicity is good publicity. You know, he's making sure that we don't forget about him, and what he's training to lose the weight. He's
basically he's making sure that, you know, we keep his name in our mouths. Basically.
Of course. And, you know, he's a master mind, you know, he's very good at the mind games. He's very good at reminding, you know, the public that he's still there. You know, he's still brags about being the only, true champion. And, to his credit, he's the kind of fighter that puts his money where his mouth is. He says things and he wins. And and he has a bit of the Mayweather factor where people watch Tyson Fury hoping that he gets beat because of the type of things he says. He's a quite divisive character, and as much as people dislike him, people tune in and listen to what he has to say. So, I find him very entertaining, and I think it's good for boxing. And also, British boxing is not known for flair and bravado. I mean, earlier on you talked about Anthony Joshua being very polished, being very, almost being coached as to what to say, having that Colgate smile. Whereas, Tyson Fury is a complete opposite. He doesn't care what he says. He's not in good shape. He's not, the GQ magazine kind of fighter, but yet he's able to galvanize just as much interest. So, good on Tyson Fury, but I believe that fight, to me, will be a foregone conclusion, and Tyson will be winning that fight quite convincingly.
And did you hear what Tyson Fury said the other day? He said, Anthony Joshua, I'm the real G.
He's from Manchester, isn't he? There's some real hoodlums out there.
Yeah, he's from Moss side. He's from Moss side.
There's some hoodlums out there, so I don't doubt that,
Now, Bo, Tyson Fury, out there in the stateside, how's he perceived by the American public? Is he perceived in a good manner that he beat the man to unify the division?
You know what? I'm gonna say it's split. There are some people who feel that he beat the man, but then there are some people who are still questioning because he has this PED allegation still hanging over his head.
That's right. Yep.
And of course, there are people, because there was a story that about the British Boxing Board were being worried about being bankrupt from the lawsuit for Tyson Fury, and they're wondering if the government back him up, help him out. I'm of the mind frame of, I just really feel like it shouldn't take you 2 years for some type of judge. Even if you want to tell me Tyson Fury was implying stall tactics, if you're guilty, you're guilty. You cannot show up to court, but if they got the evidence, they'll pass it. You know what I'm saying? They'll show up, but here's the evidence, so it is what it is. But but at the end too, I think that what Tyson Fury has done is very unique and very awesome. He's a guy who's been able to remain relevant despite him getting fat and out of shape, despite his there's a method to his madness and there's a light to his insanity. You know what I'm saying? And
I hear that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing about him. And my biggest fear is for a guy who, at the time when he won the title, if he comes back and he looks awful and gets beat. I mean, beating Bellew shouldn't be a big problem. My issue is how awful he'll look beating Bellew. Like, he may act awful beating Bellew. But you gotta get to Tyson. No matter what happens, this guy just keeps going, man.
Phil, do you think this potential fight with Bellew go ahead? Because Tyson Fury is known to be a bit temperamental. He could be fighting Bellew tomorrow, and then he might retire the day after. We just don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah. Most definitely, man. Another thing that, what I liked, what Pascal said, which is true, is that, Fury is the guy that says what he wants and does what he wants. But, another thing we've got
to G. He's the real G. That's what he said.
He's a real G, and I agree with that 100%. But, this thing is crazy, man. Like, if Anthony Joshua was doing that now, how would they perceive Anthony Joshua? You know what I'm saying? So that's why Anthony Joshua had to have to be the cardboard copy guy, the Colgate smile, the Colgate smile guy, the upstanding citizen.
But Anthony Joshua is starting to switch, as I alluded to earlier.
Yeah,
but a couple of tweets, simming out.
Yeah, he's switching now, because he's a world champion. But if he tries to do it from the off, he wouldn't get nowhere. Like,
he's some very valid points.
All right, just finally, Pascal, Amir Khan. Now he's out there in the jungle. Mate. He's entertaining the public.
Yes.
Now, maybe he's gone out there to reignite the interest of the British public. so that he can fight Kell Brook. Will best intentions, will this work, this ploy?
I believe that it will, I mean, just to touch on some of the points that was said earlier, Mayweather was certainly a pioneer, and if you remember, before the fight against Ricky Hatton, he was on Dancing with the Stars to try to elevate, to elevate his stock amongst the public, the general public. A lot of people don't remember Amir Khan, other than the boxer whose wife slept with Anthony Joshua, allegedly, of course. I said that allegedly. Please, Anthony, don't sue me. But there were these allegations going back and forth on Twitter, and unfortunately for Amir Khan, he didn't come out of that looking very well. A lot of people started to judge him and to almost feel that he was using his fellow British counterpart as a way to get back into the discussion of popularity. So I think for him, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, is an opportunity to showcase his humility, to showcase that, he's a regular guy like everybody else. But I think that is an ulterior motive, and that's to make sure that when the fight with Kell Brook gets announced, he becomes a big pay-per-view fight and potentially a stadium-filling fight. That fight is being talked about for a very long time. And let's face it, those two fighters, with the defeat that Errol Spence inflicted on Kell Brook, and the much more devastating defeat that Canelo inflicted on Amir Khan, they both need to get themselves back into contention. Unfortunately for those two fighters, they will have to go to the back of the queue because there's too much talent in the welterweight division for Amir Khan to get back himself into contention for a world title. And for Kell Brook, I don't think that the welterweight division is a place for him. He's going to have to move up to 154. And even at 154, there's a man by the name of Charlo, who's just
that guy.
He's a top shooter. He's the kind of shooter you want in your squad. So
you don't want problems with Charlo. That's what I say.
You don't want problems with Charlo. So I believe that the best opportunity for both fighters, whether they win or lose, is to fight each other, because that fight will be a very big fight. And I think that Amir Khan is doing exactly that. He's planning, a big announcement next year, and I think that that announcement will come at the back of his performance on I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah. And hopefully, make sure that he's patched up with the missus permanently, and there's no more social media to and fro with Mrs. Khan.
Yes, the domestics, you don't air your domestics like that in public, We saw the skid marks, the dirty laundry, everything. It wasn't nice to see.
Now, Bo, Amir Khan, he's been out of the ring for a long time. Now he's gone out in the jungle, reality show. That's more time off since the last defeat against Canelo. It was a devastating knockout. Let's be real. Is he? Do you think his mind's still? Does he still want to be a boxer? Basically, like, do you think it's now? Is it about entertainment now? Does he want to move into media? Is it about showbiz now? Because that is an awful long time to be out the ring. And the Kell Brook fight, Kell keeps offering out Amir Khan, and Amir Khan doesn't really, say that he wants to do it. What's happening with Amir Khan?
Oh man! But Amir Khan, though, technically he's one of those fighters that is, he's a legend in his own mind. He believes too much of his own hype about self. Okay, and it's good to have confidence. But Amir Khan, despite what happens, despite or what's going on, still believes, even in loss, even in whatever's going on, even in activity, that he still is an A-level type of fighter. And like I said, again, perception is reality. Yes, you might believe you're an A-level fighter, but the L's in the column in fights tell us differently. The thing about boxing is you should be able to earn everything you get. Like I said something earlier today. I said I actually kind of like how you guys do over in the UK with the Commonwealth belt and the British title, because when you have to have title defenses, you have to defend that title successfully 3 times against good opponents before you are actually considered the British champion. So you get the belt, but before you can get the title of British champion, you have to earn it. And that's the thing that going on, because Amir Khan is still a name. because Amir Khan is still sort of having social media buzz, he's always been mentioned in certain areas without actually having to really ever do anything. And it's sad because you have a lot of guys, like even the young man we have on the phone with us, that, you know, could use some of that media attention that's being hogged up by a guy who obviously is confused on what he wants to do with his career.
Phil, over to you. If the fight with Kell Brook goes ahead, would it be a case of Amir Khan tasting some of the chocolate brownies, or is Amir Khan too swift for Kell Brook?
To be fair, man, I think, you know, Kell Brook is shot after the Golovkin fight. You know what I mean? I think, you know, that that punishment he took that night, you know, that's not going to be good for no one's confidence. I mean, they're both in the same caliber regarding, you know, being shot and being shocked to their boots by devastating punches. You know what I'm saying? So
it's kind of like a last saloon fight, isn't it?
I think it's one of them fights, man. But what we should all do, all three of us, just flick a coin, and then whoever gets the heads more and the tails, then that's going to be the winner, man. I think it's one of them fights. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but they're both shot fighters, I believe.
But you know what? One thing to bear in mind is Kell Brook can actually hit. So if he touches Amir Khan's chin, I just don't see Amir Khan surviving that. But Amir Khan is quick and he can stay out the range of Brook.
So it's one of them. I think speed kills, man. Speed kills the power. You know what I mean? Because also you got to remember, Amir is a devastating combination puncher. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kell's not really a combination puncher when it comes to boxing. I think, you know, superiority when it comes to combination punching, Amir is the more seasoned.
Well, we will see what happens. Hopefully we can make the fight. You know, we've been waiting for this for a while. So when Amir comes out the jungle, get on the phone to Eddie and let's have it. Now it's interview time.
And this week, our boxing correspondent Shaz the Boxing Nut caught up with a boxing family, a pair of brothers that know how to lace up them gloves. It is Jordan and Grant Dennis.
Pep Talk UK are joined by Double Trouble, the Dennis brothers. How you doing, lads?
Yeah, all good, cheers, mate.
All good, thank you.
Well, I'm going to let you introduce yourselves individually.
I'm Jordan, the Menace Dennis.
And I'm Grant, Go Getter Dennis.
Now, you boys are keeping yourselves busy at the moment, aren't you? One of you was on the Haymaker card.
Yeah, that's right, that was me. It was Jordan, it was me, I boxed on the Haymaker card.
How'd you find it?
Yeah, it was good. It's a good atmosphere. It was saying it was a bit different. It weren't a normal sort of boxing layout of a show, but I enjoyed it. So,
and you've got a big fight coming up for a title.
Yeah, I'm fighting Elliot Matthews for the English title on the 1st of December. So yeah, I'm just getting nice and prepped for that. About to go and do some sparring with Jake Ball. But I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling ready for it, and like I said, I've been busy for quite a while now, so I'm just ready to go and get that title. So it's written in the stars, so I'm just ready to go.
Jake's not the only one you've been sparring.
Yeah.
You've had some good quality sparring. Do you want to name drop a few of the good lads you've been in the ring with?
Yeah, no, I've been sparring the likes of Billy Joe Saunders and Lerone Richards, which it's been great prep, like I say, for this fight. Fighting them very, very, very good southpaws and sparring them. So it's been great preparation this camp with the sparring and it's just gone smoothly in general, really. So I'm just ready. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to do this.
Where's that belt going fight night?
It's going with me. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's going over my shoulder. It's coming home with me. It's as simple as that. And I'm more than confident that I'm going to do the business on the night.
Well, you've had a good record so far. Yeah. You've done well.
Yeah.
Technically, you're very sound. You have the power.
Yeah.
How do you see the fight going on fight night?
I see it being just a very, very, very good fight. It's obviously, it's been a long time coming for him, getting a title fight, and for me, it's just it's a platform that I can now excel on. So as soon as I get this belt, doors open and possibilities to go on to bigger and better things open for me. So it's going to be a good fight, but I'm going to be victorious, and it's that simple.
Career-wise, boys, where do you see yourselves ending up, or what is the target?
The target for me is the pinnacle.
Yeah, target's the top. I wouldn't enter boxing. I wouldn't start boxing if I didn't think I could become world champion. I won't step with a British champion. Don't be wrong, it's a great accomplishment, but I won't just sit.
One question I've always had when I interview brothers, because there's not many of you about, what happens at home when things get a bit heated?
No, we don't.
Is it like, do we suddenly jump into like fight mode?
No, never.
Or is it like gentle spars?
No, we don't ever spar.
We don't ever spar. We don't really even argue, do you know what I mean? We're not just brothers, we're like best friends. So yeah, we're very close. We've got each other, and that's it at the end of the day.
That's it. It's me and him, ride or die, and we don't really argue. We don't ever spar. We just train together, and he's my little bro, and I'm his big bro, and we're boys, man.
Yeah. Do you spur each other on?
Absolutely. Yeah, every step of the way.
When he wins, I win. When I win, he wins. Simple as that. Just
see, the one thing you did mention is when you lose, because you boys ain't used to losing, are you?
We don't lose. We don't lose. We don't know what losing is.
No.
So that's how we're going to keep it.
No, that's nice. Can I get you to shout out your social medias or anyone you want to thank or any of your sponsors?
Big thanks to my sponsors. My number one sponsors are Meridian Construction. Big thank you about them. Obviously they help us massively. Chockers, shoe shop in Chatham, and also Medway Fire Security.
And your social media handles?
My Instagram is Boxer D.
My Instagram is Go Get a Dennis, and my Twitter is @GoGetADennis. So
and my Twitter is @Jordan_Menace91, and Snapchat Boxer D also.
Well, to sign off, Go Getter and Menace, wicked nicknames. Love it, boys. Good luck fight night. Cheers, lads.
Wicked.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cracking interview, Shaz.
Now it's football time, and as ever, we talk about predictions for the weekend's game. And there's no bigger game this weekend than Arsenal versus Man United at the Emirates Stadium. Now, Pascal, both teams flying, both teams picked up very good, wins midweek, but it's gonna be that clash again. Mourinho versus his arch nemesis, Arsene Wenger, mate. Which way is he gonna go?
Manchester United have got a very difficult schedule because they play Arsenal over the weekend, and then the following week is the Manchester derby. So you could argue that Manchester United have got the tougher fixture, What I would like to say here is that I would like, of course, for Arsenal to win, and it will be a very difficult game, certainly. My predictions are as follows. I'm leaning towards a draw, as well as a potential win for Arsenal. I think that Arsenal could actually win that game because whilst Manchester United have got some very good players, I can certainly see that Arsenal can also, off late Wenger has been selecting the good team, and he has the opportunity this season with AOL, to win that game, and to take it to them. And certainly the win midweek against Huddersfield would give the players some confidence that they can go out there and score and win the game. It just depends on the kind of selection that Arsene Wenger will have on Saturday, and I just hope that we can have certainly Lacazette starting that game with Sanchez, and maybe Ozil will have to play, but do you play Aaron Ramsey, or do you give Jack Wilshere a chance to come in that game? I'd like to see Jack Wilshere.
He really needs to think about that, because Arsenal, if they do play the AOL, they need some defensive solidarity in the midfield, and Ramsey's not disciplined. So if I was him, I would go for Xhaka with Coquelin, because it's a big game, and let's face it, Arsenal haven't been great in big games, suffering big defeats to the likes of Liverpool, Man City. So Wenger really needs to get his tactics spot on this time, but I think he's helped by the fact that Matic and Fellaini have both picked up injuries, so they're doubtful.
Yes, they certainly have, and Paul Pogba may not play the full game because Mourinho is protecting him, so you know, but you still have the likes of Ashley Young, who played very well midweek against Watford, showed that he's still worth to keep in the team. You know, Ibrahimovic is still also back as in contention as far as the attacking force is concerned, you know, and you've also got, let's not forget, Romelu Lukaku, who's also a very good finisher and can offer that power offensively for Manchester United. But believe you me, Mourinho would be very wary, and he would not go into that game, you know, with full of confidence. I think he would make sure that his team are well prepared. I believe that Manchester United will set themselves up quite defensively and will try and beat, you know, Arsenal on the counter-attack. Because if, you know, yes, I agree with you that Arsenal, they have lost against the likes of Liverpool, they have lost against the likes of Manchester City, but against the Chelsea side that was well organised, Arsenal had a chance to win that game and they played very well, and it was a draw. I believe that Manchester United will play a similar style of football, but Arsenal will be able to contain them, and it will either be a draw or it will be a win for Arsenal. This is my prediction.
Okay, so you're fairly on the fence there?
Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence because, you know, to be brutally honest, I don't believe that both teams are particularly outstanding. Both teams do things very well, you know. We've seen that Arsenal can score goals, can attack well, and so can Manchester United, but we've also seen some vulnerabilities. And whilst, you know, Manchester United have got some good players, I expected them to be far more closer to Manchester City than when they are now. And for me, Manchester City is a team to beat, not Manchester United. Manchester United are beatable. They have lost this game this season, and I believe that they will lose more games. And with the fact that they've got some defensive concerns in Matic and Fellaini not being able to participate in that game, I believe that there's an opportunity there, you know, to smell blood and to go for it and to attack them. You know, it just requires some bullying, and the problem is who in Arsenal can bully the Manchester United team, and I can't see anybody doing that. Yes.
Yeah, they're all soft. Phil, Arsenal versus Man United. We need some good predictions from you. I know you're a big Gooner.
I'm Arsenal man through and through. You know, I believe that, you know, Arsenal's on a high from the Tottenham game, you know. I also believe, you know, the stuff we've done regarding the new director of football, the Barcelona director of football coming in yesterday, you know what I mean, you know, got good contacts regarding transfers, the head of scouting for
Dortmund. Is it Dortmund? I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, him coming in, you know, he unraveled people like Robert Lewandowski, whatever his name is.
Dowski,
you know, all the top guys that you can think of, he's the one that unearthed them. So, I mean, having those two guys at Arsenal, you know, you can see they're structuring Arsenal for Wenger, for Wenger, which is a good thing. You know, I mean, I'm pro Wenger all the way. I think that, you know, I believe team that we played with regarding Tottenham is a team that we should play with against Man United.
And just put it on them straight from the off.
Exactly how we played against Tottenham, is just play the same way, you know. But I do believe right now that we've got a lot of we're feeling high. The mood's high in the camp at the moment, you know, regarding the scouts, regarding the win against Tottenham, and even the win tonight. I mean, I'm watching it now and I can see that we're playing really, really well. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that, you know, it's going to be a good game. I think we're going to win 1-0 or 2-1.
Wow. Just one thing on that, preparing for when Wenger goes. When that happens, can me and you go out raving afterwards?
You know what? You don't like him, but I love Wenger. But yeah, listen, we can go raving anytime, bro. Anytime. But you know, I mean, it's one of them kind of things that, you know, I don't know if you agree, Pascal, but you got to be careful what you wish for, because, you know, Fergie, when he left Man United, you know, they struggled for a long time, you know, a long time after Fergie era to get back on their feet. So we can struggle for a long time after Wenger goes, you know, to get back on our feet and play great football. And that's the only thing that I'm kind of scared for. I kind of wish, I hope that Wenger kind of picks a successor that he thinks can do the job straight away, rather than having to kind of, you know, build up to the great Arsenal that we know.
It's a very good point. I mean, look, it's a bit like, you know, with us and Wenger, we know that we're going to be in safe hands. You know, it's the first time that during his reign that we've fallen out of the Champions League. So a lot of people say is that the end of his managerial career, because normally he gets it right, but this season it looks like he's found a new lease of life. And even though we didn't start properly, we are certainly sneaking our way back into the top 4 now.
Pascal, he's obviously got a new lease of life. He made profit in the transfer window, mate.
Well, get out of here, man. We all like making money, but look, in terms of what Wenger will always be synonymous with Arsenal, even when he goes, and he still will be one of the greatest managers to have ever managed the club. My only sad point is that unfortunately he will never bring us the European glory that we are all looking for. And Wenger is a great domestic manager. Is he a great European manager? I mean, the only way you can really apply this title is to those who have won the Champions League and the UEFA Cup.
That's great.
Or have won back to back the domestic titles. And unfortunately, as much as I respect Arsene Wenger, he's not in that elite level of fighters, but he's a good world level manager, but not elite, And as you know yourself, Philip, they are boxers who are good world level fighters, and you have the elite fighters who are in a league of their own, when they turn Super Saiyan 3, 4 and 5, this is the type of managers that we're looking for. And unfortunately, Wenger is not going to be that guy for us, but we're still glad that
Pascal, I think for me, don't stop laughing, Frankie boy, stop laughing. For me, I think, also when it matters, we have had bad decisions against us, and you can also,
the Man City game, that was disgusting.
Yeah, that was bad, and you can even put that down to world title fights. If the referee's not not doing their job properly, and it's going against you, and warning the guy for doing illegal tactics, like what happened in my case, for instance. I mean, what can you do? You got to remember, the referee controls your destiny in that ring and in that pitch, and if there's true. Let's talk about when we could have won the Champions League, Barcelona.
Yep. Offside, Eto'o. Blatant. Yep.
Offside. So think about this. It's like Harold Graham fighting Julian Jackson when he got knocked out. He was winning that fight. He got knocked out. That wasn't to do with the referee, but that's to do with his carelessness. But I'm just trying to show you that sometimes in life we can't be great because decisions go against us. And in Wenger's defense, a lot of decisions has gone against him and against his team. So, on that note, I don't know what more to say.
But you know what? There was an interesting stat that was put out there. The year that Leicester won the Premiership, if you take into account all the decisions that went against Arsenal would have won the title that year. That's what the stat was.
See? There you go. But that goes to show.
But at the same time, I'm a great believer that you create your own luck also, you don't have to rely on other people to create the luck for you. And I don't think that Wenger, there's been times, let's face it, Wenger has made some atrocious decisions.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to play, what's the one recently? He tried to play Coquelin as the modern day version of Beckenbauer, in summer. That was crazy, man.
He's made some shocking buys, I mean, we've not always had the best preparation to some games, and there's been times where he's also underestimated the other teams. And I think for us, the nail in the coffin was that every time we played Bayern Munich, we just got spanked. Not just losing marginally, it's a complete destruction.
Right. But you know what? The only good thing about that defeat was the Troops Mimi on YouTube when he was swearing to Stormzy's beat. We need to get them out, blood. We need to get them out.
But to be fair, we've beaten did we beat Bayern Munich 3-0 before?
Oh, we beat them 2-0 in the Allianz Arena. That was I think Giroud scored one of the goals. That was a few seasons ago.
Yes,
we keep playing Bayern all the time. We keep playing Bayern.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's just what I don't know. To be fair, we're in good hands, as Pascal said regarding Wenger. He's coming to his end soon. He can't go on forever. But we just need to just make preparations for when that time comes, you know.
Yeah, and I hope that hopefully the Arsenal board don't go and do it cheap and get someone like David Moyes or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they go and get a short-term deal for Allardyce or something. You know, Arsenal, man, just don't know, man.
I think at the moment, what's happening, how they're building their structure regarding, you know, getting these foreigners in, I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Piers Mertesacker becomes a manager soon. You know, like, because they're making him coming into the management. You know, you got guys in the back that are Henri's done these badges. So I mean, I read something the other day. Remember, Gio Van Bronckhorst? They're trying to say
I saw that. Bronckhorst.
He's doing big things regarding where's he again? Is he Feyenoord or something like that? He's doing big things wherever he's at. So you know, there's always going to be a contingency plan for.
But you know what? Phil, again, you know, this will get edited out. But you know, people will say, well, what about Vieira? And Vieira's screwing that. You know, he wasn't. You know. Himself.
But you know, for me, it's crazy because there must be some issues, like, you know, Pascal and Frankie, that in a sense of there must be issues that we don't know about. You got to remember, all we see when a fighter gets in that ring, and we only see the fighter getting in the ring, we don't know what happened in the change room, we don't know what happened in his camp, we don't know what happened in the change room before the match happened, we don't know what's happening on the training field, we don't know what's happening in the office, in the Arsenal office. So we're only seeing what we're allowed to see. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we're not privy to know. You know what I'm saying? We're not privy to know what's happening. But look, David Platt's gone to Man City, Vieira went to Man City, all these guys have gone to
Man City. Why are they all leaving Arsenal?
What's the problem, man? Yeah, there must be a reason. There's something that we don't know what's going on, you know? There's something definitely happened that we don't know about.
Yeah. But you know, some people say, you know, Wenger's like a dictator, Mugabe type. You know, and no, I'm being real, because if you look at all
I have heard that.
Yeah, you look at all the strong personalities, right?
It's 5-0.
Vieira.
5-0, by the way.
5-0. Wow. Yeah. That's what Arsenal should be doing. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying about Arsenal. You should be putting teams away like this, yeah? There's no 1-0 script of victory.
2 assists and a goal from Ozil. He's playing beautiful tonight, mate.
Yeah, he's trying to put himself in the shop window, innit, for January.
No, I reckon he's going to stay.
I don't know. Do you know what? One of them's going to go.
Southampton have equalised against Manchester City.
Oh, beauty. Get in there. I hate Man City.
I hate them too.
And Everton are winning 3-0.
Wow. See? Sam Allardyce. Yeah, I mean, well, just moving on. Let's move to, you know, another one of the games. Man City versus West Ham. Now, look, I'm just being real. This could get ugly. You know, this could be 6 or 7.
You know what? I'm gonna put a bet on for 2-1 West Ham.
Wow, what, at the Etihad? Yeah, West Ham with that shaky defense.
Yep. Wow. You know what? I've realized in this game now, nothing's sure.
Shops can happen, yeah.
But Philippe, West Ham, come on, West Ham.
Man. David Moyes. You know, Philip, just remember Stormzy's lyric. I come to your club and F stuff up. Yeah? I'm David Moyes.
Man, you know, I like to do them little bets because when they come through, you win big. You know what I'm saying? So I'll put a little £5 on West Ham.
Everton, unbelievable.
Wow, Aladici, man, that magic one once again.
Who they playing? Everton? Everton's playing who?
West Ham.
Wow, wait, hold on. West Ham get 4-0. No, I take it back, man.
when Rooney had trick. When Rooney had trick.
Yeah, 5-0 on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be 5-0. Sterling's on imperious form. De Bruyne, he plays that killer pass. He can smash them in from 25 yards, 30 yards, it's whatever. Leroy Sané is a bad boy.
Yeah, he is.
The team is, I call them the money team, and people don't understand why I say that.
No, I heard that.
You know, they've got the swagger, but they also have got really expensive players, you know. They are the money team. TMT.
Definitely, they're the team to beat this season, 100%.
They're flossing. Pascal, predictions for you? Will it be 4, 5, 6, 7?
I mean, look, I think that it's going to be, at very least, it will be 3-0 to Manchester City. I don't think that there's been a very big scoreline like this, over the last, this season. I mean, I think that the Arsenal 5-0 victory is probably one of the biggest. Is it the biggest this season, or Manchester City scored 6 this season? I'm not sure.
I think Man City scored 7. I'm sure they scored 7.
But
don't quote me on that. Yeah.
But I think that West Ham. I mean, certainly West Ham is a disaster. They could find themselves, changing another manager yet again. David Moyes was never the right choice. I mean, you've got people like Carlo Ancelotti. You got a lot of people like that. That could potentially take that club to higher heights. And David Moyes also, was the manager when Sunderland got relegated last season. So I think that was a bad choice. But I expect Manchester City to win by at least 3 clear goals.
And the thing is, West Ham could have even gone for, I know he hasn't managed for a while, but George Graham, no shots on target, no shots conceded on target, George Graham would have drilled that defence. It just would have been one big stalemate, He would have made sure that West Ham don't leak goals, and they need to really assess what they're doing, because they're taking some hammerings right now, Yeah, and I think Man City will score goals, mate. They will score goals. They've got Aguero, Jesus, De Bruyne, Sterling, Sane. Mate, this could get ugly. This could be a Canelo overhand right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hear that, boy.
Right. Now we'll talk about a London derby taking place. Vicarage Road in Watford. Home at AJ. Now, Pascal.
Wait.
Watford, despite their defeat to Man United, they've been doing all right this season. They score goals. They're hard working. They play at a high tempo. They've got pacey players. This won't be an easy game for Spurs, because Spurs have just coming off an L. Mm-hmm. The cracks are starting to show with Spurs. It seems like, when Harry Kane's not banging them in,
yes,
it seems like it's becoming a bit of an issue.
I believe that, Spurs were believing their own hype. They believed that they could just turn up and win games. But, what they failed to realize is that the reason why Spurs were considered a good team, and they still are a good team, is because when they work well together, they have a well-balanced team, They have a well-balanced team, good attacking play and good defensive play. But unfortunately,
solid players, yeah.
Solid players, yes, absolutely. But the problem is, since the Arsenal defeat, it seems that the mental edge has been given to Arsenal, and that Spurs have since conceded that, perhaps they're not quite where they're expected to be. Because, when you think about it, they by playing Real Madrid and beating them 3-0, you would think that the odds will favor you against Arsenal. But Arsenal bullied them, showed them that, look, you may well be in the Champions League, but we are still very much a better team. And I think that psychological depletion is having a knock-on effect on Spurs, and Spurs are beginning to find it very difficult to keep that mental strength that is required. Wenger used to talk about mental strength a lot, and I never understood that. I thought it was just another pathetic excuse, but I believe that he understands what it takes to even get top 4, and we take it for granted because it happens too often with Arsenal fans. But you need a mental fortitude to always go into games wanting to win the game, even when you don't want to play, even when it's cold, even when it's difficult. You have to almost prepare yourself mentally every single weekend. And the Premier League is a very intensive league, very physically demanding, very mentally demanding, and it just goes to show whether has Pochettino got enough in his tank to motivate the players and to make sure that they don't let him down, because of late they've been letting him down. They've done really well against Real Madrid, but they've lost now a couple of games since the match, since the London derby. So for Spurs, let's face it, it's a must-win game, because if they lose against Watford, firstly, it cements Watford as another London club that is going places, but also it means that Spurs are falling away from that top 4 position, and winning games at Wembley will be even more difficult for them because Wembley is a national stadium. Everybody wants to play in Wembley. Everybody relishes to play in Wembley, and even small teams like Huddersfield or Burnley, will put on a show coming to Wembley. So I think that for Spurs, if they want to remain in contention for top 4, they have to win the game against Watford. But Watford will make it very difficult for them.
So you're going for what scoreline? I'm
going for a Watford win, believe it or not, and I'm going for 2-1 Watford. Yes.
Wow, as Snoop would say, ooh wee. Now, Phil, Pascal mentioned Spurs. Basically their mental strength is a bit suspect, but they've been so under par. It's a bit like they've been listening to Jagged Edge going onto the field.
You know what? To be fair, Pascal's got a great point, regarding their mental ability. For me, I think, they just they got touched by the Arsenal win. The Arsenal loss made them realise that North London's always going to be red, and last year was just a buck up, as we'll say, Jamaicans would say, is a buck up. That wasn't even going to happen. It wasn't even meant to happen. It happened because of some divine intervention. You know what I mean? You wasn't meant to win that, and no matter what you say, Tottenham is always going to be in our shadow, and I think they realised that last week, because that's the first time ever Tottenham actually thought they were going to win a game against us.
They were actually favourites in most people's eyes in that game.
So they actually believed they were going to win. So when they actually thought they were going to, think about this, they thought they were going to win, they lost. And when they think they're going to lose, they lose. So they just think to themselves, they can't get out of our shadow. And I think, as Pascal said, the mental state right now is very, very vulnerable. And I reckon Watford is going to, show them up on Saturday. I'm going for 1-0 Watford.
1-0 Watford. Do you know what?
Yeah.
It pains me to say this, but I think Spurs are going to get back to winning ways. I see Harry Kane, who for me is a quality number 9 or number 10 or whatever his number is, but he's a quality striker, and I feel that Watford, they're very attack minded at times at home, and you don't want to be doing that against Harry Kane, mate. I can see goals, and Dele Alli can break through midfield and chip in also. I think they're going to stop the rot. Like I said, Pochettino is a good manager, let's remember that, and I don't see him accepting losses like that and not changing things. So I would say Spurs, would take a 2-0 victory away at Watford. Let's see what happens.
Alright.
Let's see what happens. But anyway, guys, that's our time. I'd like to thank Phil Quicksilver Bowes. I'd like to thank both from Truth and Facts Boxing and Pascal. Join us again next week for another Pep Talk UK podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave your comments in the box below. Thank you.